All right, guys, it's Tom here with Hidden Beats, and today we have Akawui. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, Akawui.
How are you doing?
I'm great, great. I'm in Chile right now. It's still, we're getting into spring. No, fall.
Fall,
Doing good.
okay. Yeah, we're just rolling into spring here, so it's kind of really similar temperatures and everything like that. Well, okay,
Yeah.
maybe not similar, but
There, we're around.
Mhm. So we're here to talk a bit about your music, and I want to start off by letting you introduce yourself a bit and tell new listeners and new watchers kind of a bit about you.
Yeah, my name is Akawui. That's my real name, Akawui Riquelme. I was born in Montreal. My dad's parents were Chilean. On my dad's side, we're Indigenous Mapuche. I've been doing music since the age of 4. My dad would start busking in the street doing Andean music. So I actually went to Ottawa, right? So you're from Ottawa, right? And I went busking there at the Ottawa market when I was like probably 12, in the downtown
Yeah.
Ottawa. Yeah, and I do Latin urban music mixed with a lot of indigenous roots influence. Not only indigenous, I think I like to put some tribal influences into my urban music. I started rapping not long ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I
Okay.
sang before more, but I think rapping is also a tool to send a message.
Yeah, it expresses a story in its own way too. So
exactly.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of your musical inspirations, like when you were growing up and things like that? Do you have specific artists you listen to? And
I grew up, there's this thing about growing up and even just being put into the Latin, in Canada, that's like that. Right now I'm in Chile, but in Canada, everybody found, that's how it is. I mean, the black community hanging out with the black community, the Latin people hang out with the Latin people. Unfortunately, it's like that, especially at a young age when you're getting to high school. So I listened a lot to salsa, reggaeton, Andean music with my father. Of course, the normal rap that you would have listened to, Wu-Tang. I used to listen to Fugees, everybody, but I mostly listened to a lot of Latin music growing up. Even just being in Montreal, that was what I listened to the most. Latin influences.
And there's big Latin scenes in a lot of the cities, so it's definitely something that would be right out there for you.
Yeah, there is exactly, there is. And I think that the base of me, the basic was really the Andean music and the folklorical South American folklore music. That's where I grew up, and I took all my musicality from that.
Okay, so when you're making music now, what's your process like? Do you sit down and brainstorm, or kind of write off of certain topics of your life? How's your music come out?
A lot of it comes from things that you're living, like songs that I wrote 10 years ago. It's not my reality right now. An artist goes through a process of growing inside, and experiences. And I think there's a lot of social and political statement that I do with my music, with my songs. So most of it, the song Nueva Era, New Era, it's a social, it's a political statement that I'm sorry if I'm looking for, I have my son over there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's a political statement that I came with Nueva Era a few years ago. In 2014, 2015, I started observing a shifting into in society as indigenous, identifying myself as a Latin indigenous being, human, and the place that indigenous people were starting to take, and the importance and the revendicate. Is that a word in English? Revendicate your culture. Your. Sometimes I make up words in English and Spanish.
That's all good.
Yeah, and so it's like, man, a new shifting, and I wanted to write about that. It's something beautiful, something that you live. It's something that you feel, that you touch, and more and more people are waking into first the indigenous revendication and injustices. We've seen it with the first I don't know more, when that happened in Ottawa, it was like something like, poof, what's going on here, you know? And that starts spreading all over the globe. And Nueva Era not only talks about that, but it talks about patriarchy, you know, all these movement things that were like I can breathe, you know, when the Black community start raising their voices, the indigenous voices, the LGBT community, which is really against like white supremacy, patriarchal, you know. It's a big issue. So that's what inspires me to write songs.
Okay. There's definitely a lot out there now too. Like you were saying, it's more and more.
We're in it right now. This is where things are happening now. It's crazy. You know, I think it's people think that it's not the best era to raise the children or everything, or make babe kids. And I'm like, no, I think it's a great time to make kids. You know, women's are gonna have different rights in 20 years than women from another generation that passed. Of course, we're gonna go through a little shaking and everything as it's normal, but I think we're living in a good era right now.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot to learn, and you know, our kids will help let that era grow. Really,
exactly. People are having an awakening over the way you feed yourself, the way you train, the way you think, the way you. It's all. The album that's coming, it's called El Futuro Estival, The Future's Tribal. It's coming in this summer, and I think I'm really into training, working out. I used to have I had a professional MMA career when I was younger. You know,
yeah, so I read a little bit about that actually.
Yeah, I trained with some big names like GSP, Kotek, you know, and there were acquaintances in some gyms, and the way people are training, you know, it's really more like old school, you know, the way they eat, you know, people like eat just bacon and eat let's eat like our ancestors. I mean, this is a tribal thing is going on, you know.
Yeah.
You know, don't eat 5 times a day because our ancestors didn't have 5 meals a day. They didn't have a fridge, so you just eat one, and you know, your body is self-sufficient with that. That's a tribal way of thinking. So it's all over the place.
Yeah, I need to get a little bit more tribal in the way I take care of myself sometimes. Like I'm a big boy. I could use getting in shape.
some tribal knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. I was reading up too, actually. You had, I guess, an early version of your single. It was shared by like the president of, I think it was.
Yeah. That's crazy. It happened because here Chile went to a new president. We're doing their constitution, and I released this song Nueva Era featuring Mapuche young rapping artist. She's amazing. She's crazy good. She's been rapping since the age of 5. MC Miarai, and we released that last year. And when Gabriel Boric got elected, maybe 3 weeks ago, she sent me an Instagram story, and I opened it, and that it's the president of Chile Instagram story with my song on it, you know. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So how's your fan base and stuff growing? But you got shout outs like from the president. It's got to be pretty interesting.
Listen, Chile, I'm still in the underground, I guess. You know, because I do some political stuff. I don't do reggaeton, and it's huge here, the reggaeton market. So I still think that I'm on the underground. Some people are definitely like following, you know, they see they see the work I do, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. It's different. You know, there's a little bit of the danger when you do different things. Sometimes you don't fit the normal fit with people what you hear on the radio.
Yeah.
Right. But the fan base is growing and growing and growing. That's why I've been coming to Chile for the last 4 years and getting into just nailing it here too. And Canada, I don't rap in English. I don't sing in English. I could probably try, but I don't think it's my strength, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I do it in Spanish, and so I've been trying to spread more into South American market, but I do a lot of festivals. Fortunately, in Canada, I've been trying maybe get more into the English market.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like I watched the music video there for New Era with the collabs you had, and
yeah, Mascapi and Nelson Tacuna.
yeah, and I just like I didn't read up much about it. I just directly went to watching it, so I kind of had a fresh aspect of it. And even though you're not rapping English, it's still, you could feel your passion and everything in the song, which is cool. Like I don't know Spanish or anything that well, so it was new to me, but it was good.
Yeah, and it's still. I hope people can relate with that, you know. But I think people consume mostly of their song in the language that they understand, you know. Mostly we do that. So, but I hope, because Canada is such a versatile country, you know, it's so many cultures. It's a cosmopolitan country, man. You know, and I hope people can hear it and understand and get the song, you know, feel the music, and have a market for what I'm doing. Because sometimes I put us in the world music stages, you know. You know,
more nowadays.
The world music, yeah. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm a fan of a good song, so I don't care what genre, you know, what language. If it hits me a certain way, I'm gonna like listening to that song, and I'll learn that song, and I'll learn the lyrics that go with it, just because it means a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what usually happens.
Yeah,
you're right.
So I mean, that's where you're gonna get a lot of extra traction that way, because it's your lyrics have meaning, your song has passion to it. I know you're gonna find success with that too, with other cultures like English people.
Okay. Yeah.
So you had your two collabs on, or the collabs on that track. How did that come about, working with those guys?
Nelson Taguna, I met him in Toronto in 2015 for the original Pavilion.
Okay.
I got invited to. I just want to see what my kid is at, man. I just got invited. Oh, he's there playing. Cool. I got invited into. I'm in right now in downtown Santiago, and sometimes people are crazy here with the car.
Yeah.
Like, just saw like an accident in less than 2 minutes.
Oh wow.
Less than a minute. I was like, what? Anyways, yeah, I met him in Nelson Taguna. We did a Aboriginal Pavilion, and my uncle who worked in that event said, you need to meet this guy. He's crazy. He's unique. He's Inuit, and he does beatbox, throat singing. He's one of a kind. And I had a song that had some dubstep in it, and you listen to it, and I said, could you do the dubstep in this song? And we did the finale to close. That's, you know, people were in tears because we brought all the nations that were together at that place, and it was beautiful. And I said, Nelson, we need to do a track together. So 5, 6, 7, 8 years, 7 years later, well, 6 years later, because that song was done a little bit before. I called him, like, I have this idea. Can you put your song? Can you give me some examples? And one day I heard him do that beat that he did, and I kept it. I was like, man, that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me an example, you know. I was like, man, that's so powerful. And he sent it to me, and I was like, man, I'm gonna use this, because he's up north.
Yeah,
he's by Nunavut right now. So, and in Violent Ground, I met them a few years ago through a photographer that they were looking for a photographer, and we started being friends. And I said, you guys are crazy rappers, man. Let's do a featuring together, you know. And Nueva Era, and all the idea came together. And I said, oh, that's pretty cool. Put an Inuit with Mascapi Nation, me as Mapuche Chilean.
It works. You know? I like it. That's like, I'm adding that to my playlist.
Yes.
The music video was pretty powerful too, like the visuals in that. How'd you guys come up with that kind of concept?
Yeah, I heard I saw 2 years ago. In Chile, we had a big revolution here for a year and a half. You know,
Hmm.
and it was crazy riots for a year and a half. They still happen, and it was part of this new era thing. And I saw on you on Instagram um, an art painting that said many people underneath the table. The floor was like a chess floor, and many people with tuxedos around sitting on top of on the table. And it said something like, "When the people stand, it's game over." And I felt like that is so true and and that's the truth of it.
Hmm.
We saw what happened in Ottawa.
Yeah.
You know, we saw what happened in Chile here. We have a new president because the people said, because students started being, you know what, we're fed up. And all of a sudden the consciousness started to do a spiral, man, and everybody, and it spread. Consciousness spread, a lie can spread, but consciousness also can spread really fast.
Hmm.
And and the people said it's enough is enough. And a year and a half later, a new president, because we acted for a new referendum, you know, and we anyways. So that's how it came. And I said, you know, I was like, I was like, okay, well, I want people underneath, but how about we do like a dance? You know, a dance is a symbol also of liberation, and we instead of having a fight, we could I could put some dancers to having like an aggressive liberation type of dance in front of the white supremacist patriarcha. You know, that's what they symbolize. I asked some friends that are super like for the people, and it's like, you want me to incorporate to impersonate some like what I'm against for? Akawui is like, please, he's like, why, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
so
but
that's
like
how the music
it's a good video for sure.
Thank you. It's like a theater piece. I'd like to do that in performing the song live. I like to do that, like they do in the Grammys. You know?
Okay, nice. Yeah, that would
I
actually
like
be
to
kind
do
of
that.
really cool.
Yeah, it will be a nice show.
Was it interesting working with the guys, like having different styles and stuff while you were making the video?
No, because I asked this dance group called Nyata Nyata. The leader is Zap Mabungu. She's super respected in the dance community in Canada. In Ottawa, apparently she has a big picture with herself in downtown Ottawa. Zap
Okay.
Mabungu. She does African contemporary dance, and I know her. I went to school with her kids, and I said, Miss Zap, could I do this thing? She said, show me the song first. She's like, this doesn't make me dance. How do you want me to dance? And I was like, really? You know? I was like, okay, like we need some more beat. And then I went to this on the studio and I asked a drummer, yo, we need to put some drum on this, like a live drum. And then she said, oh, and then I said, how about now? I said, oh, no, dude, now we're talking, you know? So we have to be severe with the art too. I think the art needs to be refined. You know, it's easy to put something and like, just, hustle. Anyways, so she liked it, and I hired 4 of her dancers. We had one day, we had like 3 hours rehearsal, and I was really mean. Like, look, give me something like this, give me something like that. And I was kind of like the artistic director behind of the whole thing, even of the dance. But I said, express yourself. How are you gonna do it? And each person had their own language. And it turned out, I think, pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looked, like I said, I can't off about it. It was a great video, so it worked out really well.
Probably for professional dancers, they'll be like, but for us, I'm like, yo, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of future collabs that you're thinking about?
I love to do collabs. I think it gives something else. But for now, I think I've done enough. I need to do some more songs on my own, because there's a lot of songs that I had featured, and but of course, I'd like to collab with some greatest artists there, like people like Residente, Calle 13, which I admire. A guy like Stromae, a friend Belgium guy. But in the Canadian, I were talking with Nescapi again to do another song with Nescapi. It will be cool. Nelson Taguna again. He has so much so much of that thing that is unique, you know, because Inuit throat singing is only for usually for women, and he's a guy and he learned it and he does beatbox, so that makes him unique and gives you chills. But for now, I'm gonna focus on releasing my doing more songs on my own.
So with the album coming up, what is there like a story behind just the album itself? Like, I don't know how many tracks are even on it. Like, can you tell us a little bit about
It's
it?
gonna be 10.
10, okay.
Tracks. It's called El Futuro Tribal. In this album that I've been covering it for so long, there's a lot of tribal influences, a lot of folklorical rhythms, you know, and I mixed it with urban sound. So that's pretty much what you're gonna hear in people gonna hear in the album. Like Nueva Eras is part of that album, you know. So there's this folklorical, there's this root thing about the Nelson Taguna, you know. You hear that's something specific for Inuit folk culture, we could call it, you know. But roots, you know. But so that's pretty much every song has something about that.
Does the album follow like a story, like you listen from track 1 to 10, or is it kind of something you could just put on shuffle and enjoy the whole thing as it goes?
Shuffle.
Yeah.
Probably that's probably something I need to work on. You know, sometimes I'm all over the places, but definitely. So there's songs that are they're pretty similar, you know.
Okay.
But I do go from one side to another, and it's something that either you like it or either people like, this artist is crazy, he's lost. I'm like, I don't know, man. I just need to create sometimes.
Yeah, you could be in the mood for, you know, for a story, or you could just be in the mood for some good music to drive to. It doesn't need to tell you a specific story, and it's just fun to listen to.
Yeah, but all the songs have a message.
Okay.
All the songs have a message. I don't really do songs about you know, they have a message within a lot of lyrics, or it's pretty more like radio friendly, but the chorus is in an indigenous language.
Okay.
You know, and it's super popish, but the chorus is like, I think that's something cool that we could do as artists, and we should probably try to do it more often.
Dog just came in and said he wants some pets, so he's hiding under the desk here. So I got a few more questions I always like to ask everybody, and these ones kind of make you think sometimes. They're a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
So what is something that's on your go-to playlist that people wouldn't expect that you listen to?
I listen to a lot of rock.
Okay.
A lot of lately the Eagles. I listen to the Beatles. I listen to Guns N' Roses songs, like the main. No, I've discovered that I have a huge love for classic rock. You know,
nice.
I think there's a lot of musicality in it. Like songs are like, man, like there's a lot of research, you know, and the singers are usually great singers. I love classic rock, man.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites for sure.
I love classic rock.
I love rock just in general. Classic rock's great. Like I'm a photographer actually too, and I was out shooting Billy Talent and Rise Against last night. So I got some cool, you know, some new stuff out there. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Cool.
So next question, what's one thing that isn't asked enough that you think should be asked more, like of yourself during interviews, anything like that?
Yeah, sometimes I've been in interviews and I'm like, whoa, thank you for asking that. Sometimes just talk more about what inspires you, or just go deeper in the artist, right? Just go deeper into what are his point of views in life, man. You know, that's pretty cool to sometimes. Like I was watching Kanye's Netflix documentary, you know, and then it's pretty cool because you get to see way more deeper in his life, you know, and it's because it's a documentary. But sometimes when they give you and they do an interview and they ask you some personal stuff, That's pretty cool, because usually they just want to hear about the music. But
Yeah,
any personal question, any personal, you get to know more the artist, more the person that's behind.
I typically try to do as much as I can with that. And, sometimes you're limited with time and things like that, but I always like to make it more about you and kind of understand who you are as a person and how you figure your music out versus the actual song itself. It makes it more interesting for people.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, my final question for you, which is usually the one that makes people think the most. What is some advice that you've been given coming up that you held on to the most?
I talked with my dad 2 days ago, yesterday actually, and he just said, no matter what, me dead or alive, don't stop. You're doing it just fine. You're doing an amazing job. Don't stop, man. Don't quit. I used to work out. I used to fight for a living, we could say, and in the gym it was like winners never quit and quitters never win. Just get up, man. Get up and keep going at it. Most of the artists, or in anything, people that have succeeded is because a lot of times, like, man, for 10 years, 15 years, I tried it until one day I made it. I made that track where I got to be where I wanted to be, or I bought that house. I don't know, so many examples that you could think of. That's pretty much is don't quit no matter what. Just keep going at it and be true to yourself.
I always,
a lot of people.
Yeah. I always say you got to be the hardest working man in the room. I know other people have said that, but that really kind of, it works. Like if you're working harder than someone else, you're going to make it somewhere.
In the mixed martial art, I've trained with GSP. I saw the guy, how he worked out, I saw how big champs, and that's what makes a difference. You gotta be, and you have to be competitive in this industry, because it's a competition. It's like it's hard to make it, but I think you gotta have healthy competition, like in the gym. But in the gym, you knock yourself out with the other person. It hurts. But if you think you want to be top contender, well, you gotta be not only the best in your gym, but you gotta be one of the best in your country.
Yeah.
And you have to think like that. Like, I gotta be one of the best in my country, so I have a shot to that title or to be in the major league. As a musician, as an artist, you gotta have something that makes you different than the other one, and confidence, And even if you're overconfident, okay, but have you put the work on? Yes. Okay, be super confident, but do your homework. Some people are super confident and they don't talk about it. It's okay too.
Yeah. Those are the
things.
Yeah. Is there any extra advice that you've learned on your own that you would impart to someone else now?
Advice on my own. For right now, just have faith, man. Have faith that sometimes this road is so hard sometimes, and you just gotta keep pushing with faith, and remembering what was there you go. It's not a speed race. It's a marathon. That's what it's again. It will come to the same base. I mean, it takes time, but a friend told me that, and it's so true. Like it's you gotta have endurance, and just keep going in it, and just enjoy the journey of creating and doing other songs. Something good right now. I release this song, and I already have an idea for a crazy music video I want to release, and I'm like already working on that. I'm like, okay, and I'm writing the lyrics, and hopefully I could be invited in the show again to talk about that, and then it's gonna be in September. So
I'm always down to have you back, man. It was a fun conversation for sure.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
That's all I got for you.
Thanks.
So
I hope they did well enough in English.
no, you're great, man. It was I
It's
said,
my first interview in English, actually.
oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to have you then.
It's,
So yeah, like I said, that's all I got. I hope, where can everyone find you on social media, things like that?
on social medias, Instagram, Facebook, at AKAWUI, Akawui, YouTube also, YouTube music, Akawui music, go on. Yeah. Right now, my website is, I'm not really working the website. I'm really working on, check my Spotify channel as well.
I'll make sure to link everything so everyone has quick access to it too.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you for having me, Tom.
Yeah, you enjoy the rest of your day and go enjoy hanging out with your son. And I got to take these dogs for a walk because they're going to start attacking me soon.
Gotta take him to the park.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so like I said, I'd love to have you back at some point, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Tom. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Peace.